So welcome to FinTech Pro. This Profess Excel program has as objective to help my manage sales and track inventory um, in the store. So I'm making this video to show how to use the program, which is an Excel program. So I'll close it over. So this is it. When you launch it, it will prompt you to put a username and a password. So when you log in, you have the possibility to set up users and the passwords. So there are two types of users. There are admin users and users. Admin have access to settings and the other do not have access to settings. So we're going to see how to set them up in the system. So I'm just going to put the username, press enter, put the password. All these can be set up. So welcome admin, you now have full access. So it will take us to this home screen. So you can log out and log in, or let me say sign in or sign out. So you can also get started to start using the program itself, and here you can ask for help if you have some difficulties. So if you click on get started and it doesn't open, it definitely means that you have not yet signed in. So I'll just get started. Yeah. So yeah, it takes me to the dashboard. The dashboard will just show us an overview of the business, some information. So from the dashboard, you just need to come select the month you wish to interrogate, and then the data will just appear, and you also select the year if applicable. So here you have total sales, you have total expenses for the period that you've selected, cost of goods sold, gross profit, margins, and everything. You have the possibility to see your accounts payable and accounts receivable for that period. If I take, for example, October, you see details are all there. And here you have on the right, everywhere you're going to have this navigation bar or this menu, which will permit you to go from place to place. So these are the different things that can be done within the system. So let's start with settings. Settings is simply where you have the possibility to set everything up. Like already this one, it doesn't really concerns the individual using. Yeah, it will just be helping us manage the different transaction numbers. It will actually be automatic. Yeah, you have the sales location. The sales location is simply where the sales receipts. So I've given all instructions here. When you click on everything, you'll see instructions are there. So however, this is the location where sales receipts are saved, because we will have the possibility to prepare sales receipts, and the sales receipts will then be saved in a particular location in the form of PDF. So aside printing it, is also going to keep it somewhere in the computer as a swoosh. Here is where you put the information of the business name, and so on. Once you set it up here, everywhere will have the information. Here's where you put the logo. So you just need to come here to insert a picture. So you bring it in the form of your logo. When it comes here, you have to redimension it. So the logo, you have to put it within. So these are, for example, to you just need to put it within the area, this square where it is. So if I put this here, I've definitely set up the logo, and everywhere this logo will be there. So if I bring this logo, for example, I put it within the area, I resize it so that it can be only within the circle. So there are also instructions concerning that. Yeah, basically you just allow, never just delete this information, and yeah, you have these different means of payment. You have enough space for the other means of payments, but never remove credit. So for the users, only admin users can have access to these settings and also set up and edit user. If you need to create a user in the system, you take add new user. It will take you here where you have the possibility to set up username, password, and to give the role. Or you can see this is the account I used to log in. He's an admin. That's why he has access to this window. So when you create a user and you give him a password, for example, 1234, for example, here you have to set up whether the person is a user or an admin. Yeah. So just that way, it means that next time I want to log in, if I log in with div and 1234 as password, I'll be as a user in the system, so I can go back up. That's it about settings. Here we have. Should I start with payments? No, let me start with sales forms. So this is where you make sales. As you can see, the logo is already appearing there. If I go back to settings and I remove this logo and instead put this logo and I go back to sales form, you'll notice that that's a logo available. So what happens is that this is where you make your sales. When a customer comes and is making a purchase, or you are making a sales, you definitely have the possibility to select the customer. So if the customer doesn't exist yet, you can go to your database and create a customer code or other customers here, so that you can be selling to people that you must not possibly need to keep their information. But if you need for example, you're selling on credit, you definitely need to select a specific customer. If the customer's name is not there, you can take add new, or you go to third parties here to create new customer or third parties, or you just take new customer. When you take new customer, it will take you here, and this is where you create customers. So you just need to stand here at the bottom and begin to put the name of the customer, his number, and possibly his email. So however, all these are just there for database so that we can have some stuffs. But if you have a new customer, you put the customer's name just there at the bottom, and if he has a phone number, you put the phone number. Let's go the same way with suppliers. Here at the level of third parties, I'll go back to sales forms, and the new customer I just created, you'll see it there. So you can now select that as a customer. So here you have the receipt number. This will always show the latest or the last receipt number. So when you're selling, you precise on whether you're selling on cash, credit, or whatsoever means of payment. So when you say by cash, you'll notice that there is no issue with due date and so on. But if you say, for example, that you're selling on credit, you see here the due date of payment. You have to give a number of days that are left. So you come in this particular box and you put the number of days that you have given to the customer to pay his bill. So if I say, for example, 10 days, you see, I just put the 10, you will write the 10 days, and you will see it will count from the date of the invoice and say the due date is going to be the 19th of October. So here is where you then select the items that the customer has taken. So all the instructions are there in every place you go to, their instructions. So you just come here and you select the item that the customer is taking. So if the item doesn't exist, however, you cannot be selling what you don't even have. But you can add new items here by taking new item, or you can go to the list of items. The list of items will have will give you the possibility, however, to create new items. So here is just a database of some items. So, and in every cell, I've given the instructions which needs to be made in the creation of an item. So when you want to create an item, you just need to go to the bottom of the list and just begin to type the name of the new item. So if I have a new item, I just put it here. I take the tab key and you can see it has added the line. I have the possibility to put an item code and I have the possibility to put the selling price and the purchase price. Yeah, this is just something I was doing on my own. But purchase price, let me just put 300, for example. And then here it will just calculate the margin. So after that, I will just have the possibility to select the income account, because the program goes right up to the level of preparing your income statement. So you have to specify the income account. So I'll take this income account and specify the costing account, which I'm going to take cost of goods sold. So very important. So from here, I can go back to my sales form and I can have the possibility to select that new item I just created, which was Savon. So the selling price will appear. I put the quantity that the customer is taking. Say, I cannot yet really sell this because you can see here that this item has nothing in stock. Quantity on hand is nothing there. So normally before I sell this item, I should have the possibility to buy it first. So I'm just going to take another item. Say this one. Oh, stock is negative. So this column is there to tell you how many units are left in stock. Each time you select an item, it will tell you how many units are left in stock. Like I've selected this item and there are 2 units in stock. So let me say we're selling one, just an example. It definitely means that if the unit price is 1.5 and one will definitely give a total amount of 1.5. Since we're selling on credit, we will have not need to put the amount that we are paying. But if we're making an advance payment, if the customer is paying, for example, 500 in advance, now you just put a 500 balance. Balance to be paid will still be 1,000. This payment helps us to know how much the customer needs to give, how much we need to give back to the customer. If we're selling, for example, by cash and that the customer gave 5,000, I'll come here and put 5,000 so that we know that we're giving back 3,500 to the customer. But at the same time, if the customer gives 500 because it's advancing, I'll just put it here like this, and that is it. So now I can validate the sales by taking validate sales. So when I take validate sales, they will ask me, do I want to print and save in the form of PDF? Yeah, if I have a printer connected, I can take yes. If I don't want to print it, I take no. I'm just going to take yes. When I take yes, you can see it will try and print and also try and save it in the form of a PDF. Normally it's supposed to save it automatically. I'm just going to check on it again. Or I'm just going to give something like this. Yeah, so you can see he has validated. So next time, I will just check on it. He will not prompt us to give the name of the document because it's going to give the name of the document alone automatically. So when you try validating without entering zeros, they will ask you to first of all put items in the list. So if I go, for example, to documents, you'll see, okay, this is that was even created, just that I'll check on why it made a double. But this is the receipt that was created automatically, and that is it. This is what's going to be printed to the customer. Nice. So That is about sales, and the sales you make are archived in the sales archives. If you want to see all the sales information, you just need to come here. You see this particular transaction receipt number 8, that is there, the name, the amount, and everything is there. Yeah, this way. So that is it for the the sales archive. So aside that, you can make purchases. When you buy goods, you come here to make to the purchase form in order to bring goods to the system. So you just get here and you select the items. However, before selecting the item, you need to select the supplier from whom you got the goods. Yeah, and you select the means of payment. If you've not paid your supplier, then select credit. Or if you've paid partially, you select credit. But if you've paid by cash, for example, you just put it and you put the number of units you've purchased, say 100 units, for example. And yeah, let's say the unit purchase price this time around was 275, for example. So that gives the total amount you've given to your supplier. And that is it. So you put the amount you've paid here, which is 27,500. And yeah, you validate the purchase. When you validate the purchase, you will definitely validate it and it's passing to the next purchase, purchase number 11. So same like with sales and the sales archive, you also have purchase and the purchase archive, where you can have the possibility to see the last transactions or the transactions you have been doing. They will all be there. So the same way, let me go back. Yeah, the same way when you sell then, or when you purchase on credit, let's say we make a purchase on credit, I'll select here credit. Let's say it is from this supplier. Let's say we're buying that item we lastly created. This, let's say we're buying 10 units again at 300 francs this time around. Yeah, since it's on credit, no payment, and I'll put the due date is, for example, in 5 days. For example, the due date will be here. So when I validate this other transaction, there is a place where it has already validated. There's a place where you will have the possibility to see your accounts payable, just like when we make sales on credit. When we make the sales on credit here, there's here what we call accounts receivable, where you have the possibility to see the your customers' debts, meaning what your customers are supposed to pay. So this is where it's going to be visible. And when you also purchase on credit, your accounts payables will also appear in this list. Yeah, in this list. Nice. So that is it. Then if you need to make payments, if you need to pay your suppliers, or if your customers are paying you, and vice versa, like either your customers are paying you, what are they paying your accounts receivable, or you are paying your suppliers, for you to record the payment, because they are still showing like they are owing, or meaning the customers are still showing like they are owing, meaning you are still owing your suppliers, you need to come to payments in order to record the payments. Already the date will be here, and here you just need to select the receipt number which you're paying. Okay, this slide is divided into two. Here you have customers payment and you have suppliers payment. If you are paying your suppliers, you come here and you select the receipts that you are paying from the supplier. If your customers are paying you, you come and select the receipt that the customer is paying and his name will appear there. Yeah. So however, this particular customer is no more owing because I've already recorded settlement. So if I select, for example, this receipt, I mention the means of payment, say cash, for example, and here I put the amount that the customer is paying. Already I will have the possibility to see the amount due. The customer is still owing 1,300. So if the customer this time around is paying 1,000, it will definitely mean that the balance that he will still be owing will be 300. So I validate this payment. So as I validate it, it is good. The same way, if I am paying my supplier, like for example, I've selected this supplier, this is my particular purchase receipt. The supplier is owing 3,000. If I am paying him, for example, 2,000, 1,000 left. I can put a comment. I can put a comment here. I just need to validate the transaction, and I take years. So if I go back to accounts receivable, you'll see that the payment has been validated. If I go to accounts payable, you see that payment has been validated. I'm going to update this list, however. So that is how you make purchase and sales on credit, and in payments, you record the settlement. If it was not on credit, no need to come and make payments again. We have already seen settings, we've seen payment, we've seen list of items. So there's now the stock card. The stock card is simply there to show us the stock on hand. So I've just not managed it well, but the different items will be here. Let me check on something. Okay, so here you have the possibility to see the stock situation of your items. You see the total units which were purchased, total units which were sold, and here you have the possibility to actually put the initial stock when you're starting. However, when you're starting, you can come here and you can make a physical count. You can make a physical count of the different items, and here you come and put the opening stock, of the items. But this is not where you create items. You create items in the list of items. When you create items here, they are going to appear in the stock card. And here you have the possibility to put an initial stock before you start. Remember that these other cells, you will not have the possibility to even edit them. Only this cell for initial stock will be there. Once you've put the initial stock, you can go begin to be making your sales, purchases, and so on. And here you always have the quantity on hand. And here you have the total stock of goods available. And here you have the value of the goods. Here the cost of the goods are weighted, so it is weighted average cost. So, but for all the purchases, it's going to make an average of the purchase prices, and it's going to have a weighted average cost here. So the stock situation, the stock value will be weighted. What else is left? There are expenses. So we provide for expenses. Simply here, when you make an expense in the course of the day, you come here and you select the expense line or the budget line. I just call it budget line. If it's for advertisement, if for transport, and so on. So if the expense is not available in this list, you come here to your chart of account. In the chart of account, you have the possibility to create a new expense line. Say, I don't know what to put here. Let me just put let's just put ads like this. So yeah, I just put the expense line. When I go back to expenses, I can then use that expense line. Yeah, you can see, and I put my if there's a beneficiary, let's say Facebook is the person taking the ads, or to whom we're paying the ads, and yeah, I put the amount we have spent, so 2,000 for example. Let's just say 5,000. Then I put a justification if need be, and I put the means of payment. Then I take enter, so I can enter many expenses. If there's another expense, so transport, for example, I put the amount I've spent on transport today. I put a justification. When I take enter, it's going to validate the expense. As you can see here, it's going to validate the expense, and it just keeps building our different expenses and revenues. So we have seen the chart of account, we have seen third parties. Here is the sales review. If you want to review a particular sales that was done, you come here and you select, for example, the sales document in question, and it will definitely appear down here. So if I want to see sales receipt number 4, sales receipt number 4 is going to appear. So here I'll have the possibility to see all the sales receipt numbers. If I want to review it, I just need to come here, select it, so that I know if I want to see what was sold on a particular receipt, I can just come here. And it's just a way of filtering out some information. What have I not touched? Yeah, third parties account. So here you now have your profit and loss. Your profit and loss can be done per month. If you do not want it to be per month, if you just want to be for a whole year, you just put the year here in 4 characters. 2025. If I put, for example, 2025, press enter, you see nothing because we have not recorded any transaction in terms of 2025. So if I put 2024, nice, you see this total sales and the total and the expenses, total expenses, the net result for the year 2024. Because maybe the expenses are more than the revenues. But if I want to interrogate for a particular month, I just come here and I select the month, say the month of May, for example. So when I select the month of May, it will show the sales which were done in the month of May and the different expenses and the profit for the month of May. So I can print these. I think I have put an option here to print, or I can just take Control P. I can print these out. Yeah. So that is it for the income statement and closing everything. Here you have the dashboard, which can show you some insight. You can have the top 3 most sold items. You can have the bottom 3 most sold, least sold items. You can have for the month you selected. If you want to see the dashboard for the whole year, you just need to remove the month and it will show you total information for the whole year 2024. Or if you come here the same way, you select, for example, May, it will show you information about transactions which took place in the month of May. Yeah, you have your expense line, you have a chart showing the profitability and so on. Yeah, you already have all of those, and the chart is just there to show you some insights concerning the activity. So those are the different options that are in the program and how to use them. So you can go back to home, take you back here. If you need help, you can ask for help here. You click on it, you'll see the different contacts or the different ways you can contact for help. Or you can, if you get started, you can still take this button, help. It will still take you here. And if you want to log out, you just take sign out and you're already out. If you take get started, you will not have the possibility. I'm clicking on it, I don't have the possibility to enter. So until somebody signs in with the correct password, can you remember I gave a new password, a new user? I don't remember if I put it the D in capital letters. I'm just going to put it this way and seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that was the password. And you're saying welcome user. You have limited access. As a user, I will not have access to settings. You can see I will not have the possibility to get to settings, but all the other sheets I will go. But settings, it's not possible for me to get to settings, for example. So if I go back home and sign out, then signing in a user that is an administrator, which you can go and set it. I think it's admin. So You see, yeah, everything is set up. I can go to settings and do everything. That is it about the program. If you have any difficulties, you can get your person in order to see. Thank you.